movie review for you. And today is another special request kind of day. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a movie that my boy Eric had requested I review, and it was a decent one. And what's the movie, you ask? 31. Okay, so before I get started, before I get into this review, I'm going to let you know now, as always, there's spoilers all day, every day. So if you haven't seen this movie, pause this video, go watch the movie, come back, or watch the review, and then leave a comment, like, subscribe, and just, you know what to do. Alright, so here we go. The movie's called 31, alright, and basically this is one of Rob Zombie's newer films, okay, and it wasn't too bad. See, the premise is, it feels like the Hunger Games from Hell. If I'd have to put a title, it's like the Horror Games from Hell. So basically what this movie's about, it's about this underground society that's run by Malcolm McDowell. Y'all know him from Halloween, as Dr. Loomis and other movies, but he's running this underground kind of like Hunger Games from Hell kind of deal where get this group of people together, and they have to survive 12 hours, and they call it 31. Okay, and as the night progresses, the challenges get progressively hard. Like at the beginning of the movie, it starts off, they're on a road trip, as does all these fucked up movies start for some reason. They're on a road trip and they get fucking abducted by some weird shit. So they're on this road trip, and they stop at this gas station to fill up and stuff, and then this fucking crazy bitch comes around the RV they're driving and starts talking to the guy, asking him all these weird questions like, are you going hunting? Are you, do you have any weapons on board? Shit like that. Basically doing your common recon kind of shit. And the idiot, he's a cool dude. I like this character. He's actually pretty cool. He was one of the ones that were really cool in the movie. He's all, hitting on her, saying, no, we don't have guns and shit, like, and, she calls him Popeye, and, you think that's that. So they fill up on the gas, and they're driving. It's Halloween, they're driving, it gets dark, and all of a sudden, the guy who's driving the RV thing stops, and here there's a bunch of fucking, what are they called? Scarecrows in the middle of the road, like blocking their path, so they can't get out. So they go out to move it, and then they get jumped by all these fucking people. Okay, and one girl gets killed, and then they just abduct 5 of the passengers, and I guess they killed the rest because you don't see them anymore. So they're chained up to this thing, and here comes Malcolm McDowell dressed in this old kind of Victorian outfit, like with the big poofy fucking white hair and the makeup and the Victorian clothing, and he has 2 other women with him, and basically it's their sick entertainment they do once a year where they make bets on who will survive. If anybody will survive, who will get the final kill, because apparently no one has survived 31 yet. And I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they make bets and stuff, and they read off odds, and as each challenge ends, the odds get progressively better or worse depending on how this person does in a challenge prior to this. So they're chained up, Malcolm McDowell explains the situation, the kind of fuckery that they just got themselves into, and he starts reading off their odds and shit, and then the first challenge shows up, and it's it's this little person that's like a fucking Mexican Nazi. It's the best way I could put it. He comes out, he's dressed up in Nazi attire. He has a little fucking Hitler mustache, but he's like speaking Spanish, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got this a small person running around dressed like a Nazi speaking Spanish. I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? First off, let me tell you something. That little thing was annoying. Like, your boy Hardgamer sitting here watching this movie like, bruh, that would have been like a 5-minute fucking challenge. I'm sorry, but little dude come at me, he gonna get fucked up. Go get fucked up. Like, seriously. But these people obviously didn't know what the fuck they were doing, because this little guy rained fucking terror on these people for a good 15 minutes of the movie. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there fucking chasing them around. He manages to get one. He manages literally to kill one of them. I'm like, what the fuck? So, and the one that you think would last was the one who got killed by this little guy. He was this older black guy, and let me tell you something. He was legit. Like he seemed like he was like ex-military or something. Talking about, you know, he's unlocked the fucking gate. I'm gonna shove this knife up. Like he's talking shit. Like he gonna kill this little dude. He ends up getting fucked up by the little dude. But ultimately in the end, you know, little man gets fucking hit in the back of the head by the one lady. I guess she's like the mother figure to them all. You know, the little demon was going after Sherry Moon Zombie, and the woman came from behind and hit the guy in the back of the head with this like wood that had nails in it, like fucked him up. And then, you know, Sherry Moon Zombie sat there and started stabbing him with the knives, and then ended up fucking hitting him with the bat. Done. Okay, so that was the first test, and it took them in movie like 2-3 hours off the clock or whatever. And so they're sitting there and they come across this like feast that was laid out. And Malcolm McDowell, as the game's going on, Malcolm McDowell's coming out over the loudspeaker and giving them their odds, you know, their new odds, and like just basically addressing the situation to them as they keep going. Okay, so there's a feast laid out in front of him, and he's like, you know, regain nourishment, you know, it's gonna be a long night, all your typical fucking, you know, psychopathic mumbo jumbo blah blah, you know what I mean? That somebody who knows that they're in control and can control the situation at any point in time. That's what he was doing. He was basically letting them know, I will allow you to eat, you know, I'm controlling the situation. Everything that's happening to you is because of me. So right now, I say that you're safe to eat, you eat. You know, one of those deals. Someone who's in dominance and in control. So the one black guy, he was fucking awesome. He was like a real thick Jamaican. Like, he had the accent and everything. And he's like, yo, fuck this. Basically, he's like, fuck this. I'm going to sit here and eat. I'm on an empty stomach. I'm going to survive, because the black guy who that the little person killed was like his brother to another mother. They were very close. And so he's like, I'm planning on surviving for him, and I can't do it on empty stomach. So he's sitting there eating. And then the cool guy with the fucking beard and mustache or whatever, he's like, oh yeah, fuck it, why not? Grabs one of the things and starts eating it. And the woman and the other lady and Sherry Moon Zombie are sitting there, and you know, they're going through, and the guy's like, well, what is going through your head? And Sherry looks at him and says, well, we need new fucking weapons. And she throws the weapon on the ground, and when she does, she kind of moves like the tablecloth, and she's like, stop eating, and they stop, and she pulls the tablecloth off, and here it was that guy who was just gotten killed by that little person, and he was all like cut up and gutted and stuff. So basically they took him, cooked him up, and they were eating, and they were, you know, fucking throwing up. In typical Rob Zombie fashion, he has this thing where he does still motion capture kind of deal, where it'll be a cut from the scene, and then it'll pause, and then it'll kind of turn into a photo collage, and then another picture. Typical Rob Zombie fashion. You know, a lot of his movies did that. You know, The Devil's Rejects did that. House of a Thousand Corpses did that. I didn't see the Halloween did that. I saw about 15 minutes of the Lords of Salem, and that was no. But that's not here nor there. That might be another review later. This review isn't about Lords of Salem, which was part of it. But anyway, back to 31. So then all of a sudden, Malcolm McDowell comes on the loudspeaker, is like, all right, time for the next challenge, you know. And here's these two fucking weirdo brothers with chainsaws that are dressed up like clowns. The one I didn't recognize from really anything, but the one who did most of the talking, I recognized him from Halloween, the remake, the Rob Zombie remake, as the one security guard who was raping the girl in Michael Myers' cell, and fucking Michael Myers fucked him up. He also played in The Devil's Rejects too, as one of the people in the hotel. Pretty good actor. I like him. He's fucking crazy. Like, So basically, this next segment, they're running from these guys with the chainsaw and stuff, and they're being very vulgar, we're gonna F every hole in your body, and just real weird shit. So they're exploring, they're trying to find a way out. They come across this, like, circus layout kind of triple X thing where they're walking down this hallway, and on the walls there's painted, like, women's legs, and in the doorway is, like, the vagina. It was fucking stupid. It was the vagina, and it was like, the curtains and stuff look like, it's not here nor there, but I'm just saying it was pretty fucking dumb. So they go in there, and it's like this real circus layout, and there's this blow-up doll laying on the ground, okay? But see, the blow-up doll looked fucking weird. So they're sitting there trying to figure out what to do, and then they hear the chainsaws revving up, So they fucking barricade the door, and then the blow-up doll starts making noises, and they're like, what? So they pull the blow-up doll off. Here's a woman fucking chained to the ground, saying, help me, please, get me out of here and stuff. And the cool guy with the mustache, he's thinking, she's like an alarm, you know what I mean? She set off an alarm for these guys to come after her. So they barricade the door and stuff, and all of a sudden they pop up out of nowhere. They were hiding in the room the whole time and basically set a trap. They locked the older woman and the cool guy in with the woman who was dressed up like the blow-up doll, and inside there was one of the brothers with the chainsaw, and then outside the black guy and Sherry Moon were fighting the other brother. So this segment, they're going at each other, they're hitting each other with pipes and shit, and then the brother with the chainsaw that was locked in with the cool guy and the older woman, they end up getting the best of him and actually making him fall on his chainsaw and fucking cutting him in half. And then as Sherry Moon and the black guy out there basically got the best of the other guy, all of a sudden the guy is like, please, please, I don't want to die. We're part of this game too. We're in the same boat that you are. And then, the Jamaican guy looks at him and says, I believe you, brother. And it fucking cuts his head off. Okay. So they take care of the second round of fucking crazies. So Malcolm McDowell, after that happens, gets back on the radio, lets them know their statistics and, their odds. But while this was happening, the guy with the mustache really got fucked up. Like, he got cut with the chainsaw numerous times, and he's barely hanging on to life here, okay? So Malcolm McDowell's reading off these statistics, and they don't say names, they say numbers. Like, I think he was like number 3, and then they're sitting there listening to their odds, and then Malcolm McDowell's like, number 3, 1 million to 1. And he's like, shit. He's like, fuck you. So it did have a little bit of humor in it, which was, it's not your typical humor that you're used to. It's fucking Rob Zombie humor. And Rob Zombie is a very weird guy. Like, I don't know him personally, but his visions and films are very fucking weird. It just seems like he's a weird guy. Okay? So Rob Zombie's type of humor was in it, which was still kind of funny, but it's fucking weird humor. Okay? And then so they're running around this plant, and all of a sudden Malcolm McDowell gets on again and says, you know what it is? Sex and death are coming for you. And then the next 2 people who come out are the fucking weird girl from the beginning of the movie who was you're basically doing the recon, and this big, tall, goofy motherfucker singing some German song wearing a fucking tutu. A white tutu, and he had these big aviator kind of like flying glass, like, he looked ridiculous. I'm sorry, like, the costume design in this movie was just, it was weird. I'm telling you, it's Rob Zombie fucking lore. It's just weirdness, but it worked. I guess it worked for what it wanted to. Like I said, me personally, I would have made him look different. It's kind of hard to picture a big fucking German dude in a tutu carrying around a baseball bat with nails in it, and I don't know. I would have went a different route with it, but you know what? I'm not the director of the film. That's why I'm doing the review and he's making the movies. So anyway, he comes along, and you can tell that the girl, the fucking psycho girl who was doing the recon, they kind of got a little idea from Harley Quinn because of the way she looked. She kind of looked a little Harley Quinn-ish. But you know what? I'm not saying that it's what it was, but to me, it reminded me of a little bit of like a Harley Quinn weird shit. So, you know, this dude's fucking them up. Like they got him, and they're sitting there fighting. And you know, number 3, which was the guy with the mustache that I really liked, you know, he's all fucked up, so he's hiding. Well, the crazy bitch finds him, the one who was talking to him in the beginning of the movie, and you know, she fucking stabs him, and then he finally is able to fight her off, you know. And then as he's fighting her off, fucking Sherry Moon comes from behind him, and from behind her, and grabs her with the chain by her neck, and starts dragging her down the steps and stuff to show the big German fucker that, you know, basically we're in control. We got your, you know, we got your weakness right here. And he's like begging her not to hurt her, and then the old woman fucking hits him in the back of the leg and drops him to his knees, and this German guy's begging for them not to hurt her, and then that woman hits him in the back of the fucking head with the nail, with the bat and shit, and he falls down, and then that crazy girl screaming, no, don't do it, no. And then Sherry Moon's like, well, what the fuck are you waiting for? Do it. And so the older woman fucking hits him and just splatters his brains all over the place. And then she looks at Sherry, she's like, well, what are you gonna do with her? And then fucking Sherry Moon just fucking slices her throat and just throws her on the ground. Like, as the movie progresses, Sherry Moon Zombie's character becomes more of a fucking badass and more of a just animalistic, because I guess her survival instinct is starting to kick in as the movie goes on. Okay, so we're getting closer to the ending. We got about 4 hours left in the night, and Malcolm McDowell's really starting to worry because people aren't dying like he wants them to die. So the one woman who's in this like fucking group or whatever asks him, says, well, what happens if we have a survivor? And Malcolm McDowell said, well, you know what, no one's ever survived, you know, yada yada. And then the other woman chimes in, she's like, well, that respectfully, that wasn't the question. So Malcolm McDowell says, okay. So he puts $5 million on the table, boom, you know, as the bet. And then the one woman backs out. It was kind of like a fucked up poker game from hell, how they were betting. The one woman folds, and then the next woman doubles it. Okay? So he's like, all right, we can't count on this guy to do it. Ragehead, I think they called him. And then Psycho Head was the other one. But then they were like, but we can get Dome Head. Okay? Apparently Dome Head is like their ace in the hole that never lets them down. Okay? And Dome Head is played by the guy from Doom, who played Portman. He played in a few other things too, but I know him specifically from Doom because I liked him in Doom. I thought he was pretty funny. So they get a hold of him, you know, he's having sex with this hooker or whatever. Very, you know, and that's another thing with Rob Zombie too. His sex scenes are so over the top, you know, they're so vulgar, but that's another thing. That's not here nor there. They're picked in this sex scene. They get a hold of him. So he goes, he says, you know what, I didn't plan to work this year. They said, well, we'll pay you. He said, double last year. So he comes in, and they have a room. So I guess he has his own little room in this fucking hellhole. He goes in, and he's like, how much time do we got? 4 hours. Oh, and then he makes the comment, well, hell, I can kill your family in that much time. So he goes in this like room or whatever that he has, and to get prepared. He has all these weapons hanging from the wall, and he opens up this box, and it's basically full of paint, like face paint. So he puts white face paint on, he gets it all, and makes sure his face is all white. And then he's sitting there, he's like, I'm not a psycho, I'm in control, I'm not a psycho, I'm in control. Basically, like, turning on the switch to making him a fucking psycho. Then he starts punching himself in the fucking face. I guess that's the way to prep. He punches himself in the face like 5 or 6 times, and then he goes like this with his hair, and then they show an outward like view, and he comes out in this fucking like Jack the Ripper kind of outfit with his mouth all bloodied and his nose all bloody with the white face paint, and he spits and he looks at everybody and says, y'all can go home for the night, you know, I got this, yada yada. So So what happens was now he's hunting them. First one he gets is the old lady. She wakes, she's having this dream with the two psycho clowns, and they're getting ready to kill Sheri Moon Zombie in the dream. She wakes up and she looks and Sherry's not there. So what does she do? She goes and looks for her. Well, she gets trapped in a room, and here's the psycho guy. And he just starts fucking stabbing her, And she looks at him and says, please don't kill them, please spare them. And he looks at her and says, what the fuck makes you think that I'm the kind of person that's gonna spare them? And then he fucking stabs her and brings a knife up. She's done. So, Sheri comes back because she was looking for a weapon, I guess. And then she's like, well, where is she? Where's this older woman? And, number 3, I'm going to start calling him number 3 because, cool guy with the mustache. He's still alive. So, number 3 says, she went to go look for you. And so they're looking for her, and then they walk in this room, and there's the woman chained up to this thing, and then the guy looks at him and says, I'm a gentleman of war, he said. I'll give you a few moments with your fallen comrade. And then he also let him know the doors to the outside world are unlocked. So they get out of this warehouse or whatever the fuck they're in. They're outside. I mean, they're still trapped, but they go outside to this thing, and they find this hatch that goes into the sewer, and they open it, and Sheri Moon goes in, and then number 3, the guy with the mustache, looks at him and says, get the fuck out of here, I'll hold him back. So Sheri Moon goes down, and number 3 just stays and basically fights the psycho guy, which Domehead, which he doesn't last long. Domehead takes his fucking jacket off, pulls the knives out, and number 3's like, well, what are you gonna do? You gonna kill me or fuck me? And he's like, at least I get to die in the outside air. So, Domehead runs at him, fucking stabs him, game over. Sheri Moon Zombie gets out. She gets out, and it's daylight, okay? And then she crawls out of the sewer, and here she is at, she finds herself near this house. She goes into this house, and she sees this display of puppets that are running by themselves, kind of on a battery-powered thing. And all of a sudden, Domehead comes up behind her and fucking punches her in the face. And she's all bleeding and stuff, and he's sitting there, lights up a cigar like he's won, and starts talking to her, just running his mouth. Basically he knows he's in control, and he's gonna run his mouth before he kills her. And then all of a sudden, over the loudspeaker, as he's getting ready to go in for the final kill, over the loudspeaker it says, 31 is over, weapons down. And then he started, fuck, because that was the first time anybody has ever survived 31. Okay, so he just ups and leaves. He says, you lucky bitch, and leaves. That's it. And she's laying there, she ends up passing out, and then they do this little montage at the end where it shows Malcolm McDowell and all the other weird people undressing from the Victorian outfits they were wearing and getting back into their normal everyday clothes. And then at the end, Sheri Moon Zombie's walking, and she's walking, and all of a sudden this van comes up behind her, and the song from Aerosmith, which is a really good song, Dream On, he was listening to Dream On, and then the van stops, and the guy gets out, and it's Domehead, and he starts walking up to her, and he's looking at her, she's looking at him, and she starts balling up her fist, and then as she's doing that, he pulls out the knives that he has, and he's laughing and smiling, and then it cuts off. Okay. That pisses me off when fucking movies do that, okay? Have an ending, okay? Don't have a climactic fuckery, okay? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to train her? Is he going to kill her? I mean, I get what he's doing, but if you were going to have an ending like that, you should have just ended it when they were getting undressed from the Victorian thing and stuff. Don't have the ending on top of the ending. I hate multiple endings because that just drives me nuts. It worked for what it was doing. I'm not saying it didn't, but I'm saying they should have had an ending. They were basically standing there looking at each other, and then it faded off into the credits. And the credits were a video montage of the group before all this 31 shit happened, which is fine. I get what they were doing. Good shit. So there it was. There was 31. Okay, and it was an alright movie. I'm not gonna say it was the best. I'm not gonna say it was the worst. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. There was a lot of stuff that was wrong with it, but not enough to make me dislike the movie. So a 7.5 out of 10. Decent movie. Rob Zombie's hit or miss for me, but that's nor here nor there. I'll get into an open discussion about some of his films later. So, Eric, my man, thank you again for the awesome recommendation, you know. And everybody, if you haven't checked him out, his name is Hey Internet, Eric here. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, check him out. Awesome content, bro. Awesome. Still fan, bro. Love it. And for everybody else, this is your boy Hard Gamer saying, as always, I love y'all. And until next time, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.